In this video, we're going to derive the derivative of the cotangent of x. So pretty much we're going to figure out the derivative of the cotangent of x. Now, we know that the cotangent of x is the same thing as cosine of x over the sine of x, right? This is the same thing as the cotangent of x. And so we're going to use this idea to figure out the derivative of the cotangent of x. Now notice what's going on here. For this case, we would be using the quotient rule. And we know what the quotient rule is. It's basically if we take the derivative of, let's just say, a of x over b of x, then when we do this, what this is going to be is it's going to be a prime of x, b of x, minus a of x, b prime of x, all over b of x squared. We already know this, right? This is just the quotient rule. And so we're just going to apply this idea to finding the derivative of cosine x over the sine of x. So to do that, what that's going to look like is, well, here's pretty much what we're going to do. It would be the derivative of the cosine of x times the sine of x. So derivative of the cosine of x times the sine of x minus cosine of x times the derivative of the sine of x. So cosine of x times the derivative of the sine of x. And so that right there would be the top part. And then this is just divided by sine of x squared. Or we could just say it's sine squared of x, right? And so that's pretty much what we get for when we use the quotient rule. So now all we have to do is we pretty much just have to pretty much simplify what we have right here. And so to do that, we're just going to have to figure out some things. So starting with right here, the derivative of the cosine of x is just the negative sine of x. So we get the negative sine of x multiplied by the sine of x, which is just going to result in the negative sine squared of x, right? And then we're subtracting the cosine of x multiplied by the derivative of the sine of x, which is just the cosine of x. So we're going to get cosine squared of x. So we really won't have to, this really won't have to be that long, right? So that's pretty much it, right? All divided by the sine squared of x. And so notice what we have in the numerator. Notice how if we were to factor out -1 in the numerator, we're going to get, right? Factor out -1 in the numerator, we're going to get negative, pretty much I'm just going to write -1, just so you can see that I'm factoring out -1. It'll be sine squared of x plus the cosine squared of x. And so this right here is what happens when I factor out -1 in the numerator, and this is still all divided by the sine squared of x. And so now that we've done that, we know that the sine squared of x plus the cosine squared of x is just 1. So this is really just -1 times 1, or just -1. And so that's what we get. We get that this is -1 over the sine squared of x. And so this right here is the basic idea. And of course, we could just write this as the negative cosecant squared of x. And so this right here is the derivative of the cotangent of x. So that right here, this right here is the derivative of the cotangent of x. And here it is. That's it.